Hi everybody, it's me, the Queen of England. Okay, I'm not the Queen of England. I feel like I could get in trouble for that one. It's me. Minecraft 1.18 is the next highly anticipated Minecraft update. It is the second half of the Caves and Cliffs update. This update will basically turn Minecraft into Minecraft 2.0. Once this update drops, pretty much everything is going to look different, feel different, be different. In today's video, we're going to look at the most anticipated 1.18 changes. Yup, that's right, I've learned how to read and I've done my research. I've looked through a lot of the changes coming in Minecraft 1.18 and picked out 8 of the most anticipated ones. We're going to go in order, from least anticipated, kind of lame, to best feature, best thing in the world actually, amazing, highly anticipated. So you know what they say, if you like today's video, do what Minecraft bees do and leave likes on these videos because they always do that. Also, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, look, there's 2 bees now. This is amazing. Alright, so I already have to take something back. In the intro, I said something that I didn't really mean. The first change isn't lame at all. This first change is actually amazing. It's just not as exciting, maybe not as anticipated as the other ones. The first one is pretty simple, but at the same time, it's huge. This is the biggest change, technically speaking, that we're going to talk about in the whole video. In Minecraft 1.18, the world height is changing. The world is getting a whole lot taller and a whole lot deeper. In Caves and Cliffs Part 2, the world will be expanding by 64 blocks upwards and downwards. At first, it may not sound like very much, but it's actually kind of huge. 64 blocks is a lot when you think about it in the scale of this game, and those 64 blocks, those extra ones, are going to allow for crazy things like this to happen. Now, admittedly, the generation is still being worked on a little bit. This is test generation, but it's tall. It's really, really tall. You can't deny that. Up top, the upper limit is being pushed up to make extra space for the new mountains. The new mountains are huge, gigantic, very anticipated. This spot right here, it's not even as high as things can get. This is 177, and I'm on top of a tree. Some of the new mountains can go all the way up to 260, so yeah, like way past this, which is kind of insane. And down low, well, you already know what's happening down low. Lots of things. So many things. The world is being extended far down into the negative Y range to make room for the new caves. All the way down to negative 64. Yeah, that's actually insane. That adds so much room for gigantic caves like this, and small caves too. But hey, speaking of cave biomes, on to the next feature, the Dripstone Caves. Now don't get me wrong, the Dripstone Caves are cool. I give them a lot of harsh words, but they are nice. I do really like them. The Dripstone Caves are a brand new cave biome coming to Minecraft in the 1.18 update. The Dripstone Caves are also the least anticipated cave biome coming to the game in the 1.18 update. What you're experiencing right now is huge. This is the quintessential Dripstone Cave experience. There's dripstone all over the place. This is a deep Dripstone Cave, so we actually have the blend of stone and deep slate. It's pretty cool, and yeah, even more dripstone. Did I mention dripstone? It's on the ceiling, it's on the floor, it's in blocks, it's in pointed dripstone. It's literally dripstone inside of a cave. Yeah, it's an experience, for sure. Where things start to pick up a little bit for the Dripstone Cave is where things start to get a little bit bigger and open. Now, admittedly, this isn't the biggest, most open cave, but it's kind of there. We'll get the point. In the bigger, more interesting caves, you'll see gigantic formations like this. This is pretty sweet looking. Dig one of these things out, you'll get tons of dripstone, more than you would ever need, probably. And finally, for the Dripstone Cave biome, I'm still not sure if it's just me or what, but I seem to be getting way less lucky when it comes to finding these things. I had to go like 1,000 blocks out to actually find this Dripstone Cave. The other cave biome, the next thing that we're going to talk about, seems to be a little bit more common. Could just be me though. The Lush Cave biome, that's a great place. The Lush Cave biome is a highly anticipated biome. In fact, it's the second highest anticipated biome in this entire update. There are 3 cave biomes coming to the game in 1.18, and the Lush Caves, yeah, have I said yet? It's a great place. As you may know, when it comes to content inside of the Lush Caves biome, we're good. We're full. In fact, we're more than full. We're satiated. Yeah, that's the word for it. This biome is satiated. We have the azalea bush, the flowering azalea bush, the small drip leaf plant, the big drip leaf plant, the moss block, the clay blocks everywhere, mobs sometimes when it's dark. Oh yeah, speaking of light, glow berries hanging from the ceiling all over the place. And speaking of the ceiling, spore blossom. There's so much here. It's a really well thought out biome. It's solid. Oh yeah, and it has a mob too. In 1.18, the axolotl. You'll be able to find axolotl spawning inside of the Lush Caves biome and just existing. These axolotl are behaving kind of strange though. Kind of like a cult. They're swimming around and looking up, so I don't know. That's gonna have to be fixed. But axolotl, Lush Caves, everything's here. It's perfect. The skulk sensor is interesting, and that's saying the minimum. Like the absolute bare minimum, I probably couldn't say less. It's interesting. Coming in right in the middle of my scientifically ranked list today is the skulk sensor. The skulk sensor is a brand new redstone component, strange contraption coming to the game in 1.18. There's a lot to do with the skulk sensor. It's actually going to be very interesting for redstone players. If you like to make doors, but not the normal kind, like motion sensing redstone doors, then the skull sensor is the thing for you. If you like to set up traps, but not like lazy lava bucket traps, maybe a motion sensing trap with a little bit of redstone, the skull sensor definitely for you. Maybe you like motion sensing lights, but not like just normal lights, like, yeah, literally motion sensing lights, again, with redstone, skull sensor, it's the thing for you. There is so much that you can do with the skull sensor. We haven't seen new skull sensor features in a long time, but wool occlusion. Wool occlusion is another thing. You can place wool down to completely cut out the skull sensor's detection area. That's really, really interesting. The skull sensor, interesting. The redstone functionalities are very, very cool and potentially insanely useful. The thing that I'm probably most intrigued by about the skull sensor nowadays, how do we actually get this thing? We still have no clue. Does this grow? Do we craft it? Do we just find it down in the deep? It'll definitely be something interesting to see. Mob spawning is changing in Minecraft 1.18. Now, this was an unexpected addition that came a couple weeks back. I think it was test snapshot number 2. If you haven't been following 1.18 stuff very much, test snapshots are going on right now. These aren't official full-out snapshots, but they're snapshots. They make big changes, experimental changes. They might make it into the update, they might not. In 1.18 experimental snapshot number 2, a gigantic change was made to mob spawning. So before Minecraft 1.18, like in 17 right now, you'll be able to find mob spawning at a light level of 7 or less, in most cases. That's how it is, that's how it's pretty much always been. In 1.18, it's changing. Mobs will now only spawn in complete darkness. So you see what just happened over there, the skeleton spawned with the spider? Yeah, that's complete darkness. Anywhere that this torch lights up, even if it's like the lightest light ever, like the most faint light, it's safe, it's good. If this makes it into the update, this will be one of the most game-changing parts about the update. Now, you don't really even need to check the F3 screen to see if mobs can spawn. If it's light at all, like I said, the faintest light, it's safe, it's good. I mean, realistically, imagine trying to light one of these gigantic 1.18 caves up with the current 1.17 mob spawning mechanics. Yeah, you'd need like a million torches. With these new mechanics, you're still gonna need a lot of torches. Some of these caves get pretty big, but you won't need to literally spam them like every 6 or so blocks. You'll be able to space these things out a little bit more, light up a bigger area, and use less coal. It'll be interesting to see if this change makes it into the update. If it does, a biome like the Lush Caves biome, a biome that naturally has a lot of light, becomes a pretty safe place, at least if it's not too tall of a cave and the glow berries aren't too far up from the ground. Mob spawning will work a little bit different with spawners though. They actually got a little bit stronger. As of right now, all mob spawners will be able to spawn mobs in spaces that are pretty bright, up to light level 11. Mob spawning change, it's big, it's wild. It means a lot for the game. As soon as you create a world in 1.18, things are probably going to look very, very different. World generation is changing across the board entirely, above the ground, under the ground. The next feature is mountains. Mountains are coming to the game in 1.18, and these are the best looking things in the world. Like for backdrops, for building on, anything. Just climbing, literally just looking at, they're amazing. Now, as of right now, there are a handful of brand new mountain biomes coming to the game in this update too. For this one, to save a little bit of time, I decided to lump all of the biomes together. That means snowy slopes, snow-capped peaks, stony peaks. Yeah, they're all together in this one. The mountain update was a fan-voted feature. When we could have voted for these features, I did not vote for the mountains. I thought it was not very cool. I did not think that the devs would actually redo all of the generation and make it look amazing. I was wrong. I was completely wrong. Pretty much every single new mountain biome becomes one of the best looking biomes in the entire game. They all look really, really good and different and new. And because things needed to be adjusted for things like 260 block tall mountains, you know, with old world generation, wouldn't really fit, would be a little bit random. Everything is changing. Because of the mountain update, world generation across every single biome in the entire game is getting changed. Completely. Redone. Pretty much. The mountains and all of these terrain changes are such big changes that they don't even make normal snapshots. First, they're in test snapshots. Snapshots of the snapshots, it's crazy. These mountains so far, they're beautiful, they're gorgeous, they're gigantic. The shaping is perfect. There's so many good things that I could say about them, and not really a single bad thing. They're great. Almost every single mountain that I found has amazing views. Like, you could just look at it from the mountain. You could go on top of the mountain and look. New mountains, because of what they're bringing to the game, because of what they are. Super anticipated, amazing, entirely changing. The new mountains are tall, like really tall. They're basically the farthest point that you can get away from this next feature. This next feature is a very mysterious thing. We don't know too much about it quite yet. All that we know is it's going to be deep, and it's going to be very, very dark too. Yep, that's right, the deep dark. The deep dark is probably the second most anticipated thing about the 1.18 update. So what is the deep dark? Well, I don't know. I think it's a brand new biome zone type of thing generating in the world in the 1.18 update. You will be able to find this thing deep down in the world. That's why it's called deep dark right now. It will also probably be very dark. Do you see this right now? Probably not. Yeah, it's insanely dark. Yeah, this is kind of like the deep dark experience. Probably a lot of deep slate all around, lots of darkness, maybe some skulk things, and the Warden. For me, even though it's not sitting in spot number 1 in today's list, I think the Deep Dark is the thing that I'm most curious and most excited to learn about in the 1.18 snapshots. Like, what is this place? How is it going to be different? How is it going to be deep? Really, is it going to be dark, or is it going to be a little light? Yeah, I'm super curious about this place. Based off of some of the things that the developers have been teasing, the hype that they've been building for this place, it seems that the Deep Dark is going to be something completely new for the game, take it in a new direction. There's a lot of reasons, for sure, to be excited about this place. Yes, if you made it to this point in the video, thank you. Thanks for watching the whole thing, pretty much. Number 1 is probably very obvious to you at this point, but first, an honorable mention. I thought it would have been a little bit cheap to make literally half of the list today all cave-related things, so I split everything up into biomes, and I put this one as an honorable mention. In 1.18, everything about the caves is changing. The caves are getting bigger, the shapes are getting crazier, aquifers are being added to the game up high and down low. Oh yeah, down low. Caves are being made out of deep slate. There are so many really interesting changes happening to the caves. Honorable mention to the new cave shapes and generation. That's really, really cool. Moving on to spot number 1. So spot number 1 in my super scientifically curated list today, the Warden. How could I not put the Warden at the first spot in this list? The Warden is easily the most anticipated thing about the 1.18 update. If people are curious about the Deep Dark, people are very curious about the Warden. Pretty much the only thing that we've seen about the Warden, and most of the stuff that we've heard about the Warden, came from Minecraft Live almost a year ago now. Back at Minecraft Live, when the Caves and Glyphs update was revealed, the Warden was revealed. The Warden is basically the big, strong, bad boss thing in 1.18. What you're seeing right now, and what you've honestly probably seen before, is from that 1.18 Warden reveal. Over the course of the past year, the developers have revealed a little bit more about the Warden. This thing is big, taller than an iron golem, it's really strong, and you're meant to actually avoid it, not take it out. We didn't know for the longest time, but the Warden is now officially confirmed to have a drop too. Poisonous potatoes. It's a joke. I don't know if the Warden drops anything. We'll see once it hits snapshots. Minecraft 1.18. That's going to be a huge update. The craziest part about all of this, it's actually only half of the update. 1.17 was the first half of Caves and Cliffs, 1.18 the second half. It's honestly kind of hard to imagine all of this content fitting into one update. That would have been crazy. What do you think about my list? Do you think the Warden is the most anticipated thing about 1.18, or is there something else that you're a little bit more hyped for? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're heading down there, if you haven't yet, it would be a great opportunity, in fact, the perfect time even, to hit the like button. Subscribe to join the strongest and freshest daily video gang. It's been going strong since 2018. Thank you all so much for watching. Huge shout out to my patrons, Devins, Bruiser Renegade Baby, and A Johnson 6494. I'll see you all in the next one tomorrow. It's been me, Waddles. Goodbye.